Hello, my name is Keith Smith and I am a member of the public, and if you have ever wondered what is involved in taking a polygraph test, more commonly referred to as a lie detector test, then please do continue to view. The date is Saturday the 3rd of June 2023 and the time is 1:31 in the afternoon. What you are about to witness is but one small part of the 90-minute session such tests typically entail. A question and answer segment which within a test is repeated not just a second time but for a third. Each segment necessitates my providing the answers to 13 questions. We have now arrived at the third and last segment. By its end, in order to pass the test, I shall therefore have been required to tell nothing but the truth across 3 such segments and in response to a total of no fewer than 39 questions. Jeremy Kyle, this ain't. Now, my polygraphist today has over the course of decades acquired the strongest of reputations in this field, not least by dint of work undertaken for and alongside armed forces abroad. They have been invited to visit me today here just outside Cheltenham in order to test me against the contents of an evidence statement I have made and signed, which details in the small hours of July the 12th 2021, not long after the Euros football final at Wembley where England lost to Italy, which details the circumstances in which I disturbed a doctor, a GP, in the middle of a visit, an ongoing unconcluded visit, already delayed by 13 hours and more. A visit to my lovely but vulnerable and that night sick and needy mother, Olive Smith, little Olive, whose medical supervision he had left and who was dying indoors in his absence. Now, the General Medical Council has refused to accept my report, which it fends off as unsubstantiable. The doctor has simply had to deny what I have told it and has been supported, for he is a professional and I am not. In the general scheme of things, I, like you as a member of the public, am by contrast to be viewed and treated as a nobody. This cannot go on, it has to change. There has to be natural justice, a level playing field for one and all. Now, the polygraphist's role here today and their skill set is to be able to analyse my psychophysiological readings, how their equipment is plotting my body is reacting to the answers to the questions I am choosing to give. Watch now as we conclude the lie detector test with the third and final question and answer segment, identical to the 2 that have already preceded it off camera. I will now be set the 13 questions. The time elapsed on the stopwatch is
17:04.
right, so I will resume the required position for testing, facing away from the polygraphist in order not to have face contact.
So putting air into your cuff again. Okay, Keith, test is about to begin.
Is my arm positioned
Yeah,
okay?
that's all great, thank you. Is your name Richard?
No.
Do you understand? I will only ask you the questions we reviewed.
Yes.
Do you intend to deliberately lie to any of these questions?
No.
Regarding your evidence statement today, was everything written completely truthful?
Yes.
Have you ever lied to anyone about any kind of official documentation or about an official document?
No.
Is the evidence statement you wrote completely truthful?
Yes.
During the course of our discussions here earlier, did you lie to me about anything at all we talked about today?
No.
Is everything stated in your evidence statement today true?
Yes.
Did you say that you're somebody who would lie to avoid taking responsibility? You made a
No.
mistake or did something wrong?
No.
Have you deliberately done anything to try and cheat this test?
No.
Test is now concluded.
The time on this elapsed on the stopwatch.
The time elapsed on the stopwatch is 22:19.
Right. Now I can turn around towards the
You
screen,
can.
Patty.
Yep.
Okay, and just
Here's
the
your
screen.
evidence.
That's okay. And so we have come to the end of the third question and answer segment, and thereby concluded the polygraph test. 39 questions in all based around the truthfulness of the evidence statement I had given. Let me look at my prompt because I've lost the thread.
Okay.
It's okay, it's not meant to be professional this and slick. Right. My evidence statement I shall now read aloud whilst Patty determines the results of the test. Right. And I can still move. can't I?
Yep.
I, Keith Smith, hereby submit for verification by polygraph testing the following signed account of the circumstances in which In the early hours of Monday, July the 12th, 2021, I disturbed an out-of-hours GP who had left his patients my mother's bedside in the middle of his visit to spend the next 50 minutes away from her in his car. It focuses on the doctor's denial of those circumstances to investigators. I state that when I went outside in search of the doctor to force him, rather than continue his by now 90-minute wait for pickup from a totally unresponsive lower priority ambulance call out line, to deal with a 999 operator I had now contacted myself and had available on the phone, I had to leave my mother's bedside to pass him. The doctor's car was parked directly in front of our door, sideways on, passenger side nearest and just 5 paces away. The view from that door to the passenger seat was completely unobstructed, and the interior of the vehicle illuminated by a street light no more than 6 paces in front of the bonnet. From the front doorstep the car appeared empty and its occupants to have decanted elsewhere. No one was visible above the bottom level of the window frames. No occupant was visible in the car, even when I reached the passenger window and looked across to the driver's seat at eye level. I had to look down into the well of the vehicle to locate the occupants. The driver cum technician was reclined in his seat to a degree only now to be visible to me. The doctor's seat was reclined as well, to the same level as the driver's, to a degree for the doctor also only now to be visible to me. Most certainly not, as claimed, only to a degree sufficient to accommodate a laptop as he sat. By contrast, no lap remained. The doctor was not sitting but lying. I found the driver with his eyes shut. I found the doctor with his eyes shut. Contrary to claims, no actual work, other than perhaps letting the call-out line continue to ring out unanswered, was being done by either at that point. Over the course of his 50-minute absence out in the car, the doctor did not at any point return and monitor his patient's condition at her bedside. Immediately prior to earlier injection with morphine, these exchanges took place. I asked the doctor, "Is this safe?" The doctor made no reply. I then immediately asked, "Can it depress her breathing?" The doctor now replied, "It's what we give for pain." I then immediately warned the doctor, "She's had bad reactions to morphine before." The doctor merely replied, "Everyone has bad reactions to morphine." That is the end of my signed evidence statement, and I shall now inquire whether the results of the lie detector test are ready.
Yes, they are, and I could tell you, Keith, that regarding the questions about the truthfulness of your evidence statement, I could tell you that, yes, you are telling the truth regarding your evidence statement and everything written therein.
Thank you.
And you have passed the test.
I have passed the test. Thank you very much. Well, it would have come as a damn surprise not to have passed the test. Was I anxious about the outcome? No, not in the slightest, not at all. For I had given 100% accurate report, and General Medical Council note report, not an account, which is the terminology you apply in order to devalue evidence you do not wish to use. I had given 100% accurate report of the circumstances in which I disturbed the doctor that night. Instead of seeking to force through findings based on differences in status and thinking themselves able to project corresponding differentials in levels of witness reliability, credibility, believability, let the General Medical Council and the doctor, in terms of evidence validation, match this. So what is the message you, the viewer, can take from this experience? If you should ever be required, or indeed wish yourself to take such a test, The way to pass a polygraph test is to tell the truth, as I have done here today unfailingly. General Medical Council, please take note. Goodbye. And I'm stopping the recording.